What is happening, everyone? You are back into another episode of the Republic of Gaming podcast. And this is actually a big one because this is episode 10. And I'm very proud. I think we're all proud that we've got this far without missing a week. Thank you to everyone that has been with us from the start, that has been in the comment section from the very first show. We hope we've improved with each show. And joining me today is the amazing Platinum Jack.
All right, everybody.
We've got Kevin Toner.
Evening. How's everybody doing tonight?
And we have the bearded master, Mr. Seamus Fanning.
I think Kevin might take offense to that now, in all fairness. I'm back from injury, though.
What?
You can get the beard compliment on the next show, Kev.
What's
happening? Platinum Jack, how are you doing?
Not too bad, Ronan. Not too bad. I won't complain.
Good to have you on the show once again.
It's good to be back.
We always start the show with the section what we're playing. So Platinum Jack, I'm going to throw it to you first. What have you been trying to platinum lately?
What I've been trying to platinum lately was actually, and succeeded, was Shovel Knight. And I'm not going to lie.
Nice.
It was one of the more difficult ones I've done simply because of one trophy. Well, technically 5 because I did it all in one run through. And
okay, so tell us the hard trophy that you're talking about.
Basically, one of the trophies is to finish the game in under an hour and a half. But I combined that with not dying at all, not falling in any pits, and destroying all the checkpoints.
That's crazy. That's impressive. You should be streaming that stuff.
I should have, I could have, but because of the fact I'm moving, I couldn't. So
okay, you need to get back on that and do a speed run of Shovel Knight.
I definitely will.
How did you find the game overall?
Honestly, it's a beautiful game. It'll definitely up there on one of my favorites in recent years.
I agree. I played that game. Now, I didn't complete it, but what I did play of it, I thought it was just fantastic. I love the fact that we're getting these retro style games in the modern day. We've talked about them in previous shows, especially back in our retro show. And it's just a great time to be a gamer. I think Shovel Knight is the one that really pushes beyond just being, an average retro game. It really pushes the boundaries, and it's amazing to play. It's got elements of a lot of great games out there. Kevin, what have you been playing?
Oh God, I don't want to talk about it. It sucked me back in.
What is
World of bloody Warcraft?
Oh my God,
it sucked me back in. I'm such a God.
So when I knew what you were going to say before you said it, I was like, as you said, it took me back. I was like, oh no.
I know, it sucked me back in. I played it 8 hours today.
Oh,
what?
8 hours.
Wow.
So you're not going to be playing any other game for the next, couple of weeks, is it?
No, 28 days. That's how much is left on this subscription.
I think we just have to send them letters and food every now and again.
Yeah. Have an intervention when I don't show up next week for the podcast.
It's going to be like the World of Warcraft South Park episode. It's just he's going to be down in a basement with a group of friends trying to get us to play.
That is the best episode ever, though.
It is the best episode ever.
Fuck up me playing the goddamn game.
But I was actually playing some Dead by Daylight. It's free this month on PlayStation.
Okay.
Really fun game. Really fun game.
How explain that game? I haven't played it. I do know the
you're put into this like a big arena, a walled arena, and you have 4 survivors and 1 killer. And you have to run around and start either 3 or 5 generators, depending on how many people you have in the game. But every time there's a mini game when you're fixing a generator and it blows up, but the killer can see that it flashes orange and he chases you and he picks you up and throws you on a spike. But you can wiggle off his shoulder and people can take you down off the spikes, and it's all about sneaking around and trying to play the mini game as quietly as you can.
Nice. That's one that I'm definitely interested in. A couple of my mates I always see them playing on the PS4 and thinking, what is that game? I asked them and they're like, oh, it's good, but it's different. You mightn't like it. And now that it's free, I'll definitely be jumping on that and
Oh, and you have mates that aren't us?
Oh yeah. I've got a few, a small group of people, but I do have friends outside this circle.
Obviously, signed the same contract.
Bano, what are you jamming lately?
Actually, I've also been playing Dead by Daylight with Kevin and that, but no, I started playing Darkest Dungeon in the last week, and it's been out for a long time. I hadn't played it. I watched a couple of streams of it and stuff, and really, really enjoying it. I'm not good at it whatsoever.
No,
but
either was I.
really, really enjoying it.
How do you find the gameplay kind of elements, the meta game in the background and stuff?
I don't mind that. Like, I'm kind of used to that kind of ATB, everyone kind of takes their turn kind of system. I kind of enjoy that in games anyway. It gives you time to kind of think outside of it as well. You're not under any pressure, except for if you get it wrong in that game, which you can a lot.
And do you find the diseases that you gain or the boost that you gain, do you find they add to the experience, or do you feel sometimes that they're, no matter how good you do, you get these diseases anyway, and it kind of kills your characters off without...
Oh man, the horror gauge is an element to a game that like really has kind of it makes you think. Like, that's kind of what I was saying. Like, even like you're more likely to miss moves and stuff. Like, even everything has its own consequence to it. Now people missing is just RNG, obviously, but like the different kinds of mental states you can get yourself into and stuff, and it all affects, and you have to put people in different places to recover from them. It makes you think about what you're doing and how you're spending your gold in between missions as well. It's really quite creative, I think.
One of my favorite parts of that game is the narrator. I mean, right from the get-go, you get the intro where he's talking about, building that world and building the story and the reason why you're going to this mansion. And I mean, his voice just really, it talked to me in a way that I haven't really heard, that kind of dark, really ominous voice in a game in a long time. And he was the one thing that stood out to me in that game. I do love the gameplay and everything, but like you, I'm not very good at it. I didn't really get that far, but he was the one thing that really kind of stood out in my eyes.
It's actually funny you mentioned that, because I thought that as well. Like, the last time I actually remember having a narrator in a game like that was, has anyone else played Dante's Inferno?
Yes.
That's the last time I remember like an actual gripping, like, it kind of, it makes you listen to the game, and it kind of brings you into the story, and it tells it really well.
I loved Bastion had a great narrator as well. If anyone played Bastion, he kind of tells you what you're doing within the game. So if you fall off a cliff, he'll say, "And now he fell off the cliff." There's
that movie with Will Ferrell in it. What's it called? Where he has the narrator in his own head.
What's that?
Oh, I know with Emma Thompson.
I think it's gone.
That's way ahead as well.
Stranger Than Fiction, is that what it's called?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it is
something like that. Yeah, where he has Will Ferrell has a narrator in his head telling him everything that's happening.
Okay, so it's similar to Bastion.
Yeah.
Nice. It's just great. It's a unique way of storytelling, if you ask me. I loved Bastion, and I love Darkest Dungeon as well. But I have been playing a game that you have also been playing as well, Fano, and that's we're not going to call it Dark Cells, even though it really fits it. But Dead Cells. I did a first look video on the game yesterday. Actually, I did it just. I bought the game on Steam. It is out on all consoles now, including Switch. And I didn't really know what to expect when I turned it on. The art style is beautiful. It's one of those art styles that I don't think there's really enough of it in this day and age. It's a retro art style, but it's super modernized in a way that just, I think, is timeless. I think we'll be getting those games for years to come. But the game is, you wake up in this dungeon area and you find out that you can't die. Basically, it's similar to Dark Souls in that way, where you never end. So what you do is you're going through these, I suppose you could say, stages, and you're picking up different items, and there's currency to collect, and there's also these things called dead cells, which you can spend on abilities. And we were trying to figure this out, Fano, the other day. I thought that you always kept those items and abilities, but we figured out that you only keep some if you die. Is that right?
You can only keep your flasks and any kind of perks, right, and you pick up along the way. So like there's certain parts of the game where you can kill certain bosses and they'll give you certain things, and you'll be able to like use certain kind of platforms or teleporting platforms or stuff like that. And you get to keep those, but the actual weapons you get along the way, if you die, you start from scratch. You start with your normal sword and the bow or the shield, whichever one you take.
Okay. How are you finding it?
I think it's brilliant. I like people know if anything's remotely Castlevania-esque, I love it. I'll straight off the bat. Like I said, I actually sent you a video trailer today for Death's Gambit that comes out next week.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
it looks
can't wait for
unbelievable.
that either. Like these games, these are the reason I play games. I have to play a game. It's really hard, really intense, and I just love that art style and that old kind of retro feel to them kind of games. Like any sort of, it's funny because the newer kind of hack and slash genre doesn't suit me, but that old style, it's something very enthralling from. I think it's brilliant, and the art style in that game is just brilliant.
There's serious depth in that game where I heard that if you speed run an area, you will actually be able to unlock you'll be able to unlock doors that you wouldn't be able to if you got there in more time. If you get there within a minute and a half, you can enter this door. But if you get there in, say, 2 minutes, the door could be locked. And I like elements like that. When I started playing the game first, I was taking it very methodical and trying to, really just beat down enemies one by one. But if you start to speed up your gameplay in that game, it really plays towards that game. I think another game that does that is the new Doom. I mean, it wants you to play quick pace, and that gameplay in that game it's flawless in a way that it just feels like everything you do is connected to you. It's not, there's no animation heavy stuff in the game. You've got a roll, you've got an attack, and now I can heal myself as well. And it's a game that I'm probably going to stream a little bit after the show tonight and enjoy it. I can't wait to get into that game even more. You've completed the first boss, haven't you? I haven't got that far yet.
Yep. I got him earlier on today, and I mean, it's the everything about the game is just so good. Like it's hard it's not hard in the sense that like some things be hard for the sake of being hard. It's hard because you're not paying attention or you're not keeping an eye on what's going on, or like any sort of thing, like a Dark Souls thing. There's always a next phase. They add something to it every couple of seconds. There's always something to look out for. And all I'm going to say is bring some turrets with you.
I like the roguelike games because I feel like a good roguelike or a good Metroidvania game, it will, when you die, you always learn something new in your next run, and you always gain a little bit more knowledge. And the more and more you play, it feels like you're not exactly leveling up your character. I know you gain items, but you're leveling up yourself, and you're gaining experience with this game, and you're trying to, like, you start learning enemies, and you know that this enemy is going to, there's an enemy that pounces at you after a couple of seconds, so you know to roll out of the way. There's other enemies that throw grenades. I mean, the enemy variation is another thing that I love in that game. It really keeps it interesting, and also the environments as well. I've only been to two environments, the kind of underground one and the one that has the forestry in the background. And they're very, very varied and unique, and I can't wait to explore the rest of that game.
The game itself, it's been in early access on Steam for a long time. Like it's only actually got its proper release on consoles in the last couple of days. But with that came a lot of reviews and a lot of controversy.
Yeah, do you want to tell us about that, Fano?
Well, we can talk about it, I suppose. IGN have had to take down their review of the game because it basically is plagiarized from another YouTuber called Boomsticks Gaming. And if you watched, he actually put up a video earlier on today about his view versus the review versus the IGN view, like side by side, and he goes through it bit by bit. I mean, other than I'd say 7 or 8 words, the things are identical. And literally, there's actually he laughs about it during his own review of it, because at 3 minutes and 7 seconds on both reviews, the exact same things are said at the exact same time, and it's ridiculous.
It is. It's completely crazy. Like he says at the end of the video, like to his audience, he said, like, this is obvious to me. What am I supposed to do? Like this guy, this channel, couple of dozen thousand subscribers, 40-something thousand.
30,000,
yeah, something like that. Yeah,
today, but it's obviously going to boost up because of it.
It's crazy.
Jack, what do you think? Copy and reviews.
I just can't understand what your man's thought process was with plagiarizing the review. Did he really think because he is part of IGN that he would get away with plagiarizing a smaller reviewer's review of the game?
Yeah,
I think he worked like how I work. Leave everything to the last minute, leave it a little bit too long, and go, hold on, I have to get something done right now, and then just watch something else and plagiarize it. That's how I got through college. No, but no one's.
Yeah, I said it in the chat earlier on. I was talking to a couple of the guys, and I was saying it feels like a guy that left the study right till the last second, and then went, "Do you know what? Screw it." And I personally think it's not good enough. When I read it first, I was like, I was a little bit surprised. I was like, maybe it's similar in a way that, people are just blowing this up out of proportion. But when you get the side by side view, as we've seen today, it's blatant as hell, and it's really unprofessional. I mean, this guy he's Nintendo's editor for IGN. He's got a fantastic job, and he was given this review as part of his job. The dude is getting paid for it. We do reviews and we do videos for the fun of it, and here's this guy that's getting paid in a dream job that anyone out there would love. And he cheats, basically. He cheats, and it's come out. It's been reported now that he's been fired. And good on IGN. I don't agree with a lot of the stuff that they're doing with reviews and whatnot, but good on them for just firing him straight on the spot. It's similar to somebody cheating, a cop taking a bribe. It's the exact same thing. So he's fired anyway. He's after losing a job, and the possibility of him getting a job in video games in the future is very, very slim. And the guy that is a Boomstick Gaming, he's going to get a boost in his YouTube channel. So I'm happy for him. I don't think it's going to affect him.
Probably
in a way
get a job at IGN.
Well, there you go. Yeah, exactly.
That's what your man should have done. He should have said to his editor, he should have said, "I'm way behind. I'm not ready for this, but I found this review. Can I just give him money out of my own pocket?
Yeah,
and you put it up on the site. It's a great review. It deserves to be up there."
There you go.
Yeah. So that's IGN's review. Nintendo editor fired on the spot for copying. So look at it's not nice, but they've done the right thing. So next we have. This is just something that I wanted to shout out because I think they've got a lot of stick in the past. No Man's Sky, Hello Games, No Man's Sky brought out a new update, the next update it's called, and people are reported that this is what the game should have been at launch. And I am so impressed with that company because I personally didn't think that Hello Games were to blame. I thought it was the push that Sony were trying to do behind them. I think if Hello Games were left as an independent company without Sony, we wouldn't have seen that game until now, and it would have been a complete finished product. But I just wanted to shout out that fair play to them for sticking with it, with the grief that they got. I mean, is it Sean Murray is the guy from Hello Games? I think his
name sounds familiar. Yeah, I think that's
the top guy, Sean Murray. He was getting hate mail for months after No Man's Sky was released, and the fact that it's after coming to a stage where people are appreciating that game, I think it's fantastic news. Have any of you guys played No Man's Sky?
I haven't played it, but I think like when I first seen it and I was like really impressed by it, like the first things they showed us, like if the game is now where like what they first showed us in their trailers and stuff, if that's the level it's at now, I think I'm going to have to pick it up and just explore for a bit, just kind of unwind and explore, like not take it really seriously and just go around.
It's $17.99 on the store now, so it's a great time to pick it up with that update, and it's a cheap game. It's actually that pricing is in and around what I thought it should be in that release, but because Sony got behind it and so much money was pushed towards it, they pushed it up to a 60 euro game, which
unfortunately
that just shows you the line between indie games and AAA games. Sony tried to make an indie game a AAA game, and they pushed it and they pushed it and they pushed it to try and get that AAA day one money.
Yeah,
and
but
it's just not ready, and it should have been updated over the last 2 years or whatever it is.
What are you going to say, Fano?
At the same time, Ubisoft do this. They release games that aren't finished, and then they're fantastic when they are finished.
I think there's I do understand where you're coming from, but I do think that it's a little bit different where you're releasing a AAA game and then you're adding to it. I don't think No Man's Sky was a AAA game. It's not.
It's not.
We're treating it that way.
But is No Man's Sky now worth more than say Destiny was at launch or Destiny 2?
I still don't think it is, no, because I don't think you have the amount of money that's pushed into a AAA game with voice acting and animation and storytelling and writing and everything. I don't think it compares. But that's just my opinion.
No Man's Sky to me was Minecraft. It's not Assassin's Creed or Doom or any of those AAA games. It's not that type of game. It's Minecraft.
Yeah,
it's a game that deserves long time upgrading slowly and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Jack, have you played it?
No, I have seen gameplay of it from the very beginning, and it did look nice at the very beginning, but it didn't really interest me that much. But now that they've got the updates rolled out and everything, I'm actually thinking of doing a fano on it and actually going out and picking up a copy because it does look like a real unwind kind of game.
There's multiplayer now supposedly in it as well, so there's a chance of meeting up with your friends and trying to travel the galaxy, which is what people wanted at the start. So look, they seem to be hitting the nail on the head, and I congratulate Sean Murray and Hello Games for sticking with it and going and bringing it to the level where it needed to be. The next one we have is just a quick one. Fallout Shelter surpasses 90 million lifetime revenue. I seen this today and I thought that was ridiculous. I think this game came out on mobile, I believe, first.
Yeah.
Has anyone played it?
I played a small bit.
What did you think? Or how? I know it's like a base building game, or you said you didn't play it, Kev?
No, I played the absolute hell out of it, and I have spent money on it as well. So I added to that 90 million.
What is it you actually spend money on?
When you're playing the game, you have bottle caps as your money, which you use to buy rooms in your underground bunker. But the rooms do different things. Like power room generates power, diner generates food, and water treatment generates water. But there's loads of other rooms, and you're trying to build up as many people as you can. You kind of run out of caps, so you have to send people out. But the easiest way to get caps is just buying lunch boxes.
So it's like every other money-hungry mobile game out there, yeah?
Yeah, but it's not really shitty about it. Like, it's a perfect type of game where you can go on, play the first 20 minutes, and then forget about it, stick it in your pocket, and go back an hour later or a day later.
Yeah.
And just keep going like that. If you're going to do it that way, you are not going to get punished in any way.
Okay, nice. So it's more of if you want it done quicker, you can spend money.
Yeah, essentially.
So you're paying for your impatience.
Yeah.
I've spent about 12 quid on it since it came out. It was released the E3 that Fallout 4 was announced. The what's the guy's name that does the announcements?
15
for Bethesda.
Yeah.
The guys are going to kill me for not remembering his name.
But he has the hair and the leather jacket anyway.
It'll come back. It'll come to me.
He said, "Oh, we have something that'll tide you over until October, and release Fallout Shelter then and there."
Nice.
But for any sort of phone game or whatever, like I know it's on the Switch and stuff now, so it gives it more of a market. I think it's on the PS4 now as well.
It's on everything now, yeah.
Yeah, like still for anything like that to make 90 million.
It's Todd Howard. I didn't Google it. I promise.
Just put this phone aside. 90 million for something like that. Like, you have to ask, how much did it take to rent to make? Like, how much profit are they in off that? Like, and that's just something that they just running in the background. All they have to have is a server up to take money.
Yeah.
No, it's intelligent, and it does show you the power of mobile gaming. Even though some of us do play it, some of us don't. It's a weird situation that we're in. That mobile games have become as popular, but everybody has a mobile. So I mean, if you're bored at work or whatever, you have Fallout Shelter on, why wouldn't you play it? So that's a Fallout Shelter. Fair play to those guys. I mean, we're going to be getting a new Fallout game soon as well, so there's that to look forward to. At least they're not just doing mobile games. All of you guys are Twitch streamers, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, more or less, yeah.
How close are you to 10 million followers?
I mean, I have a very loyal 71.
71, that's pretty good.
That is pretty good, actually.
Congratulations. You're a little bit away from Fortnite streamer Ninja, who has become the first ever Twitch streamer to gain 10 million followers. I mean, I don't personally watch him, but holy hell, that is a crazy amount of people following you as a gamer. So big up to that guy.
That's huge.
Any fans of Ninja?
No.
I watch him regularly.
Yeah, Paddy's not here. Yeah, Paddy's his #1 fan. He just pops into the chat. I've watched him a couple of times. My son doesn't really like him because he curses. My son has an awful. No, he's awful against cursing for some reason. I do it a little bit too much, but he just never seemed to like it. And Ninja, I think it's just his personality, his hair. Obviously, he's got a good marketing kind of image, and you can do nothing but appreciate that. Is he the top ever streamer, or is it just Twitch? I'm sure it's definitely up there.
Yeah, it's definitely there. I think he is, because he's had the biggest amount of views on one stream and stuff like that as well. Like, he's breaking records every day.
No, that record was actually broken by Dr. Feelgood a week or two later.
Oh, really?
Dr. Feelgood, who wears the wig.
I remember hearing
that.
Do you know the number? How many was watching?
I think Ninja had 308,000 or 380,000.
God.
And Dr. Feelgood had 500 or 600,000 or something like that.
Jesus.
Kevin,
Wow.
Do you mean Dr. Disrespect by any chance?
That's
it. That's it. Yeah.
I was thinking about that song, Dr. Feelgood.
Yeah.
Do you watch him, Jack?
No, I tried watching them once, and because I enjoy playing Fortnite in a social aspect, but watching it is a completely different matter.
But I kind of feel like he's like one just freak incident, because he's everything. If you look in his eyes, like, he's just completely wired. I think he's like one freak incident away from just going on a rampage or something. I am actually terrified as to what he's going to do.
Who is that, Ninja or the other guy?
Ninja looks like he's just about to go and burn his house down or something.
Oh, God.
But he's all hopped up in Red Bull and what's that stuff that makes you smarter at the drug?
No idea.
What's it? How much is it?
I don't know. There's one that it really increases your concentration. It's actually banned in esports.
Oh,
have you been watching that Limitless thing again? No.
It's a great show, guys.
Oh, jeez. I know.
Anyway, speaking of
someone
Limitless,
mentioned
is a Netflix show, isn't it? And a movie.
Yeah.
Speaking of a Netflix show that's coming, The Witcher is getting a series adaptation, and Henry Cavill has said that he wants to be The Witcher, Geralt of Rivia. What is your opinion on this, and who would you like to see in that role? Because I personally think if that role is cast wrong, I'd find it very hard to watch that series. Jack, you can get in on this first.
You see, the thing is, though, it's not just Geralt they have to worry about. Like, Henry Cavill is not my first choice for Geralt. My first choice is Viggo Mortensen, who played Aragorn in Lord of the Rings. But again, it's not Geralt who they can screw up. You've also got Yennefer. You've got Triss. You've got what's his name? I can't remember his name. He was the tutor of the School of the Wolf.
Yeah, the older Witcher, isn't it?
Yeah,
they can
screw him up very easily. They can screw up Lambert. They can screw up the other guy. I can't remember his name. They can screw up all the characters if they cast them wrong.
I know, but I think with Geralt, it has to be, if he is cast good enough, I think he can bring out whoever else is cast there. Because even if you played The Witcher 2, I mean, Yennefer and Triss aren't particularly good in that game. They have grown into great characters when 3 was released. But so Viggo Mortensen is your guy. That's a really good pick, I think, because he's been in Lord of the Rings, I suppose. I just don't think he's grisly enough. I don't think the voice would suit, but he would do a great job. I think he is a good actor, and he'd work his ass off to try and get the best out of that character.
Yeah.
Kev, what do you think?
I honestly couldn't give an opinion. Beyond knowing the artwork from the game, I haven't seen anything or heard anything, so I couldn't give an opinion on an actor.
Okay. Kev? Oh, sorry, Fano.
I'm not far off Kevin on this one. Like, I know about the lore and stuff like that, and like that's what I'm kind of worried about. You'd have to have someone who can translate that. Like, that the game is very long. Like, where did they start? Where did you pick the starting point for the series and stuff? Or is it like after The Witcher 3, or is it before the first one? Like everything that they have a big task ahead of them to make this work for the fans. Like you can see every kind of game, like they made the Castlevania anime series and stuff this year. I don't need to bring up Castlevania again, and that didn't suit people. They did the Death Note stuff as a live action thing, and that didn't suit people. Like there's a lot of stuff that's like, it's just been, it can, yeah, exactly. I would rather they went down the idea of they just did like an animated series and see how what kind of like friction they'd get from that, and who we get the voice actor and stuff like that.
That's a great idea, and use the actual voice actors.
Exactly, yeah. Keep it very original. And it doesn't have to be like an anime. They could do it like what would you call it, like a Pixar movie kind of thing.
Yeah, animated kind of.
Yeah.
It would really work, actually. I never even thought of that. I think that personally, after you saying that, I think that'd work better than a live action now, because I think so many things can go wrong. The casting can be totally off. But if I'm going to pick somebody, and his real name is really ridiculous to say. Is it Nikolaj Coster-Waldau? Is Jaime Lannister from Game of Thrones. Now, the reason why I'm picking him is not because of his role in Game of Thrones. It's I've seen a movie that he's in called Shock Collar, where he basically he has got a really normal life. He takes a drink, he drives home, he ends up, being in an accident, and then he gets sent to this high security prison where he becomes, the head of this really brutal gang. And to see him change from a normal guy to the guy at the end it's a phenomenal just viewing on screen. Anyone that hasn't seen that movie, you should really check it out. And that's the reason why I think no matter what he's placed into, I personally think he would be such a great casting for Geralt of Rivia, and it would make me happy. I think he's definitely up there with there's like a top 10 choice going around. You've got a couple of others there. Vigo was mentioned, and the guy that plays the main guy in Vikings, I'm not sure of his name. He's
I can't think of his name. But see, the thing, when you bring him up, he was the main lead actor in the World of Warcraft movie.
He was, yeah.
And like, if you want to bring up something that doesn't translate, that didn't translate for people. Like, if you're a person who doesn't play the games,
yeah,
because I brought my brother to see World of Warcraft, and it did not translate to him. Like, I understood the lore behind it, but for him that was just like a waste of time.
How did you find that movie?
I actually have it on DVD, but I've never opened it. But as a story, because if you actually are into the game and you follow the lore, it's really good.
Yeah.
But a lot of stuff, I think a lot of like CGI and stuff like that doesn't translate well. Like if you're an actual World of Warcraft player, if you're Kevin, and you watch the latest cinematic trailer that they did for the new expansion, it is brilliant. And I would tell anyone to go watch that just as a build-up. Like, it kind of makes me want to go back and play it, but I'm going to steer clear because I know on launch
things to play.
But Kevin, you're going to have to ask Blizzard for some free game time, because you're not going to play it for about a week and a half because all the servers are going to go down.
Oh, big time! Yeah.
Travis Fimmel is the guy from Vikings. Thanks for that, Kev.
But was for focusing.
Yeah, just on that World of Warcraft, sorry to bring it off a little bit, but on the World of Warcraft, myself and my wife and myself watched that, and we both really liked that. Now, I've played World of Warcraft and a little bit. I played it for like a week-long session and know a lot of the ins and outs of the game, but I thought that was an okay movie, and she did too, and she's got no interest in World of Warcraft. I thought it was surprisingly good. I was expecting it to be a big mess, but I enjoyed it for what it was. So
I haven't actually seen it yet.
Yeah, it's worth a watch. Like, I mean, something like that.
It's on Netflix now.
It's on Netflix. It is. Yes, I seen that actually the other day.
I have the American Netflix at the moment. I can't risk using the Irish one, or it'll knock it off.
I don't. Yeah, I used to do that as well. I don't see a big advantage using the American now, or is it still like?
Movies. There's just different stuff on it at the moment.
But is it better?
No, there is a lot of stuff on the Irish Netflix. It has really gotten good in the last year, and just the American one just has different stuff. It's just.
But if you have your PlayStation connected to it, you'd have the Irish one.
Oh, but I still have the same profile.
Yeah, it doesn't make a difference. Like I used to use was it Hola? Is it a VPN tracker?
Yeah.
and yeah, you'll be fine.
Oh, it's just I don't mind.
The last bit of news, sorry for cutting you off there, but we're going to run a little bit short on time
Sorry,
here.
we're losing track there.
This is a quick one. It is the gameplay video trailer for Red Dead Redemption is out tomorrow. I'm super excited for this one. Who else is going crazy?
The hype train is rolling in, is it?
What's that?
Sure.
I said the hype train is rolling in, is it?
Well, for me, it is. I think this game is going to be Game of the Year contender, if not the second. I mean, Last of Us 2 or this has been my top picks for since the start of the year.
War.
God of War, yeah, like that's definitely up there. But for me, I just think these two will take it over.
It's going to be a real test for Rockstar. This is because
why do you think that?
They made so much money from the online version of GTA 5 that they're going to want that money again. So this game is going to be a big test, and I'm going to be watching really closely. But I am really excited about the game.
I would have to disagree on that one. I don't think they're expecting this to be as big as hit as 5. Red Dead Redemption, the original one, wasn't, but it was critically acclaimed, and the story is thought as one of the best ever in a video game. I don't think they're going to start throwing an online. There will be online in it, don't get me wrong, and I think there's rumors of the Battle Royale mode and stuff like that, and I think that could play in very well to the environment of a Red Dead Redemption game. But I can't see them, what are they with GTA 5? They can throw in anything. It doesn't matter. Flying spaceships, bikes that can go really fast. It doesn't matter. With this game, it is more grounded, and I don't think it's going to have a big as online infrastructure as 5. And I think they're just going to concentrate on making a really solid single player experience with online elements in the background. But that's just my opinion.
They could be very self-aware and think everyone's thinking this about us. They think we're going to be real shitty about microtransactions. And they could show people this game is this game. Here it is. No microtransactions, no DLC. Here you go.
I hope so. I think the big thing about Red Dead Redemption is Rockstar are saying that they're changing the way game design is, and they've come out and said that the way you gain a mission, it's not you go to a certain point on the map. It's you ride into a village or a town, and someone might trip and fall in front of you, and you pick them up to help them. And because you help them, they'll bring you on to, say, their father, who is a connection that will give you a job. And it's meant to be organic storytelling like that. It's not a point on the map that you go to. So I'm interested
like a real open world game, like a real sandbox game.
Yeah, like proper, just organic story evolution, I suppose you could say. And I'm really looking forward to that. I'm interested. They did in GTA 5, they did the thing where you could change character at any time, and that was revolutionary. But I'm interested to see, because it's a smaller scale, what they're going to do in Red Dead Redemption. I cannot wait for that game. I think it's going to be Rockstar at its best. Jack, what do you think before we move on to our...
I haven't even played the first one, so that's why I've been saying absolutely nothing during the entirety of this, because I've got nothing to stand on with it.
How about we allow you to take on the next section? Then we're going to talk a little bit about Comic-Con. There's a couple of us here that are going to be there. We're going to be there on the Sunday. So if you see these red T-shirts in the crowd, come over, say hi, and get a picture with us. We'd love to take a picture and get it up on the site and just have a chat about video games or comics or superheroes. Jack, have you been to a Comic-Con before?
The Dublin one I've been to twice, and each time it was only for a day, but I did quite enjoy it when I did go. There's a lot of stalls. You can find a lot of stuff that you might be interested in. It's not just comics, it's anime, gaming, all that type of stuff. Then you've also got the cosplayer masquerade, which is always fantastic because people are showing off their skills with their cosplays. And it's always good to see people actually saying, yeah, I made this, or whatever they've done with it. You know what I mean?
What guests would you be looking forward to?
The two that I'd be most looking forward to are Karl Urban and Nick Frost.
Karl Urban was cancelled.
Yeah. Oh no, that was who was cancelled. Sorry, I couldn't remember who was cancelled because there was something happened. But I know Nick Frost was brought in to cover.
Yeah.
But Nick Frost would be the only one that I'm really looking forward to. Then.
Kevin, you're going to be coming with me on Sunday. Myself and yourself and Paddy.
I'm really excited. I haven't actually been to a Comic-Con before. I was actually in the RDS 2 years ago at a craft beer show, and our back door met with their back door, so there was a lot of crossover in the smoking area.
Right.
But no, I'm really excited to see there's a Gundam building area,
Yeah.
and going to be craft tables and sculptors and artists alley and all that. But one of the most exciting things, one of the biggest things I'm excited for is Michael Dorn, who played Worf in Next Generation and Deep Space Nine.
Nice.
He's going to be there. He's going to be doing a Q&A panel on Sunday. I think it's 12 to 1, I think. I'm not sure, but
yeah,
he was
actually definitely go and check that out.
it actually fits in because he did voiceover for a lot of video games. And he was in Saints Row, and he was in Mass Effect 1 and 2. He was in Fallout 2 and New Vegas. Absolutely loads of stuff.
Deadly. Fano?
I'm not going to the Comic-Con. I haven't actually been to one either. But the person I would actually love to meet would be Nick Frost, because I love all them kind of just the movies and stuff. I'm a big fan of comedy and humor, so I just think he would be someone like you could go up to, and he'd probably be really like down to earth and straightforward, and probably get a picture with you. Probably if you could brought him out for a pint, he'd probably
Yeah. No, I'm kind of Nick Frost for me as well, but the one person that I'm looking forward to, and I've met him before, is John Romero, just because he's one of my heroes. For anyone that doesn't know, I'm sure you do if you're watching this podcast, he created Doom, Quake, Wolfenstein, a lot of these massive games. He's the reason why the first person genre is what it is today. I met him at, I think it was Players Expo last year, and literally just walking across the floor, I ran up to him and I just said, "Hey, how are you? Can I get a picture?" And he's the coolest guy ever, took a picture. My son was also playing Doom with him on a kind of it was like a multiplayer set, like a seating where everyone was playing Doom, and he was actually in the game, and he was just taking lads out for sport. I mean, the guy is a genius at his own game, and I'm really looking forward to that. I was there last year at Comic-Con, and I was at nearly every convention last year, and Comic-Con it's so different in the way the mood is so different. Everybody is just there dressed up, having fun, and there's a really kind of chilled atmosphere. There's nobody rushing around everywhere. It's just really chill. There's people, hanging out and having a bite to eat in the food section. Then they're going into the panels. And there's also one of my favorite things of last year, and it was a very small section, is there was an indie developer section, and also Pulse College had a stall there as well. And there was a couple of lecturers there just teaching the very, very basics of game design, and anyone that was interested, they would sit them down and go through programs that you use. And there was also indie developers there showing off their games, and it's just a great atmosphere. And that section was so busy last year that I think they have to boost it this year. So anyone that thinks this show is just comics, it's not. It is comics, but it's so much. It's the whole pop culture, and I would advise anyone just to go to it and experience it at least once. It's a fantastic event, and it's different than any other gaming event or anything like that. Anything else on Comic-Con, guys?
There's a tabletop section that I want to check out, all about tabletop games and everything. I've been trying to get into them, but so expensive. I have Settlers of Catan at the moment, and hopefully get a group together sometime.
Yeah, we'll have to meet up and play it. That was the only thing I was going to mention, is that they have the card games and stuff like that, and it's I wonder how competitive that is, or how is that like a room you walk into that's really silent and all you can hear is like cards being turned or like pieces moving on a table, or is it like really competitive? Is there people standing over each other going, "Oh"?
I looked in last year and I was afraid to go any further. I was like, these guys are really serious in this room. Like, I mean, there's some serious competition going on in there. So yeah, they are silent. That's when I walked in. It was guys were really stuck into their game, which is cool. Like I've never been a tabletop gamer, but to see those guys, in their element and having people to play with is awesome. And just the whole event is very good. And we're delighted to be covering it this year with the Republic of Gaming. And again, if you see us, just come over and say hi. So to bring it on a little bit, but to keep it in the Comic-Con section, we want to talk about the best comic book video game ever, except for the Arkham series, because we all know that thing is going to win. So Kevin, I'll give it to you first.
Well, actually, I have two. Well, three, but I'm going to go mention the first and third one really quickly.
Okay.
Marvel Heroes. It was a dungeon crawler, shut down very recently.
Yes.
It's just kind of what was the game like?
Diablo.
Diablo.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Of course, I might.
Great game.
Very like Diablo. Absolutely love the game. I'm hoping someone puts up a private server. I keep an eye out for that. But the main game I loved was Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2.
Yeah.
First one was released in October 2006. And me and Aaron, absolutely one weekend, case of beer, we just blew through that game over the weekend. Absolutely great memory. Fun.
What style of game is that? Is that similar to Heroes? Or it looks similar, doesn't it?
It is actually kind of like the camera is fixed and you just move from room to room and the walls disappear, that kind of thing. Yeah.
You can pick all the characters, and I think Spider-Man is the kind of the lead character in the front of the case.
It was a white case with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But there's a huge roster of characters in it. A couple of dozen characters in it.
It was massive.
And actually, I can't mention the third one in case someone has it, because I don't know what you guys have. Go on ahead.
Jack.
Honestly, I was kind of having a toss-up between two earlier, but I'm going to have to give it to Ultimate Spider-Man.
Nice.
Simply because the artwork still holds up to this day, in my opinion, because it's got the cell shading style to it, and it's one of the few Spider-Man games that I have played the entire way through and thoroughly enjoyed the entire way through.
I love how it's just going on. Roland's looking down so you can just see the Spider-Man logo.
Yeah.
Walking advertisement.
It's actually funny that mine isn't Spider-Man. Fano, I'll let you go ahead first.
Oh, I hope this isn't your one. Mine's the Punisher. Did anyone play the Punisher game?
Oh my god!
Holy cow!
You nearly said what I would pick. So that's yeah, I have played that, and it is fantastic.
I just think it's brilliant. I think it's a game that really they didn't hold back on it. It sticks to kind of what the Punisher is. Like, it's really gory, it's really dark, everything about it. I think that's what it had to be for it to work. I remember there was the Punisher games on the arcade machines and all that years ago, where it was the side-scrolling beat-em-ups, and I love side-scrolling beat-em-ups, but that didn't translate well what the Punisher is. Like, the Punisher's dark. He's not a superhero. He is an anti-hero, and that game went down the same route as the likes of what's the other game called that was banned in some countries?
Manhunt,
yeah. Or there's another one called Hostel as well, I think. But it took to that kind of real gore, and like normal people probably would have turned it off, but
30 seconds.
I had to play it.
Yeah, I like that game as well. But I thought you were going to say the same game as me, because usually me and you hit it off on games that we like.
I have a feeling I know what you're going to say.
The game is The Darkness.
Oh my god! How did I forget The Darkness?
Great game.
It was a game that it came out of nowhere, and I picked it up. Actually, I didn't pick it up. My friend John Hart picked it up, friend of the show, and he brought me in one day. He says, "You need to play this game. It's right up your alley." And I came in and I sat down, and basically it's a first-person shooter. You use a hitman. I believe he's part of a mafia, but he wants to get out, and the mafia send people after you to kill you. And you are taken over by this demonic force called the Darkness. And the gameplay splits between first-person shooter and using this darkness power. And I mean, when you hit in the darkness power, this heavy rock music comes in, and you just feel like a badass, like more badass than many superhero games that I've played previous. And it's a game that sticks with me. They brought out a second one by, I believe it was a different developer, and it didn't really hit home with me. They changed way too much and made it a little bit too commercial. But yeah, The Darkness is the one that sticks with me. And if anyone hasn't played it, go out and get it and just try it out. It's to feel like a badass. That game will allow you to do so.
No one actually picked my third one. It was,
what was the third one?
The Walking Dead by Telltale.
Oh yeah, nice.
Oh, very good. Yeah.
Season 1 and 2.
That's a difficult platinum to get as well, isn't it?
Don't set Jack off.
That one. Does that go under the easy platinum, Jack?
The fluff platinums, as they call
them.
You only really need to play through it, really.
Watch it happen.
Yeah, basically.
I actually thought you were going to say Deadpool. When you
I actually haven't played Deadpool, believe it or not.
It's very good, and it's good because it's quirky and it sticks to kind of that, the funny side of it, and that kind of, it's kind of like if you took, I don't know, the actual movie, I suppose, and you have that kind of gore and comedy all together. It's really nice in that game, and they that game translated very well.
Yeah, I think the reviews came out and they were very mixed. The people that loved it really enjoyed it, but they never said it was a fantastic game. And I'm actually going to put that down on the list and play that soon because it's recent enough, isn't it? It's not an old game.
I think it was around the time the first movie came out, so it's in the last few years. It was maybe a little bit after it.
Yeah,
I think it was before it actually.
Oh, really?
The only thing is, though, I will have to disagree with you to a degree, Fano. The humor was the best part of that game, but the gameplay itself was just your generic action game.
See, that's what I mean. There's your mixed review already, like between two people. Like I'm sure I would. I'll definitely check it out.
Also, to go back to the darkness for a second, you said about the rock music playing while you're playing as the darkness.
Yeah.
Fano, do you know of a band called Faith No More?
Yeah.
The singer for that band actually voiced the darkness in that game.
Oh,
nice.
That's interesting.
Cool.
And so just kind of tied together because rock music playing as the darkness, but it's a rock music singer.
That's awesome. The main guy was called Jackie, I believe. I remember
Jackie Estacado, and then his girlfriend was Jenny.
Yeah, no, and a really cool story. I love that game. I need to go back to that because I haven't played it in years, and just doing this section has brought back great memories of that game. We are going to bring in our community moderator, Una Ming, and she is going to go through a couple of questions from the crowd that are hopefully. Hello, Una Ming.
Hello, sorry. People were just typing questions just the last second. I was like, oh my god, no! He's just announced me.
How was the chat looking?
Amazing. There's a lot to get through, my friends. We're starting off with Ray, who says, stick to the Republic of Gaming for all your gaming news, not plagiarized.
Nice.
Delta says that he bought Dead by Daylight for PC last week and think it's a better game to play with friends, and hopefully crossplay comes out soon, which could be definitely a possibility if PlayStation if Sony decides to do that.
We're still on that, are we?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we're really feeling it on the Rocket League competition, aren't we?
Oh, we are. We're getting a little bit of flack for that one. Another funkin' gamer, man, his name, every time I see his name I just have to do this weird kind of clench not to say the word. Says that another great game with narration is the Stanley Parable. I don't know if you guys have played that.
Oh, yeah, actually.
Yes, amazing.
Yeah, no, I played that years ago.
Puzzle game, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of I suppose you're just wandering through really and just enjoying the narration more than anything. Colin had a lot of comments, but he said, would you consider Comics Zone a comic book game? He's doing the kind of opposite. He knows the source isn't from a comic book per se, but is it a comic book game?
It's a brilliant and really hard game.
I've never played it.
No, I've never played it.
It was on the Sega Mega Drive. It plays like a comic. You actually literally jump from picture to picture.
Cool.
It's really, really well. It's really for even its time. It's really original idea, but it's obviously not. I wouldn't say it's a comic book game. Yeah. It's everything you'd probably want in a comic book game. It's really good. It's very hard. It's brutal. It's violent, but it's yeah. Jeez, I forgot about that altogether.
Yeah, it's
like that as I mentioned. Yeah.
Is it that? I think I saw one of the panelists once. Is it that you're the writer or no or something like that?
No. The writer's hand does show up and change scenes and change pages. You're the character going through the game and jumping from page to page and stuff.
That
Awesome.
sounds really cool.
I like
That
that.
does sound cool, actually.
Allcast Irish Gamer says that No Man's Sky is, quote, good, but it's not what they promised. It's at a stage where it looks like it could be what it promised. And he said the same thing happened with Sea of Thieves, which I've heard was like they're all the hype with Sea of Thieves, and then it kind of went.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay.
Another funkin' gamer again. God damn it, that word. I worked for 2 mobile game companies in the States. It was interesting watching companies thread the line between a good game and just being money hungry. And I think we can all relate to games that have been like that.
Clash of Clans.
Oh yeah, that's yeah. When you were
spending
talking,
crazy money. Sorry, go on.
no, you're grand. When you were talking about Ninja, Paddy says, who's obviously in the chat because we know he's there. He says that
He's
Nick
always watching.
Merckx all the way is his favorite for Fortnite, and Paddy would know since he's obsessed with Fortnite. Obligatory Fortnite mention right there.
He
Walking
made you.
advertising for that game.
He totally is. He should just have shares in it now at this stage. Dave McLaughlin says Ryan Tuberty for Geralt.
Ryan
Yes.
Tuberty. I can't believe that name was mentioned on the show. That's crazy.
That's what you want.
Could you imagine Geralt in a little polo sweater going Iggy or whatever else? And that'd be hilarious.
He comes out in the toy show dressed as Geralt, and all the kids go crazy.
That would
And
be
one for everyone in the audience.
I'm not gonna lie, if I won the lotto in the morning, I would pay to see that happen.
It would be awful, man. It'd be so bad. He also suggests that Mark Hamill would do a Savage Geralt.
No.
I don't think so, personally.
No, I think Mark Hamill has got worse by age.
Oh my God, Ronan.
No, but like if you look at Mark Hamill from his time as, you know, voicing the Joker, old Luke Skywalker, I think the stuff that I've seen him in lately, he's not exactly that may be writing problems and stuff, but I'm not sure. I think he's a little bit too old as well to play a younger Geralt.
I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, but Mark Hamill is basically a two-trick pony. His 2 biggest roles are the Joker and Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, his version of the Joker is my favorite, and some people are going to slash me for that and say Heath Ledger Heath Ledger was amazing, but Mark Hamill's Joker hands down is the best Joker in my opinion.
For definite.
No, 100%. He's much better. Just saying.
Yeah.
Colin has a question. If you could sit down with one person in the gaming industry, who would it be? And for him, it would be Hideo Kojima or Ken Levine.
Oh,
that's a good
one.
one.
Would have been Hideo Kojima as well, actually. That's really odd.
I know it requires a bit of thought.
No, I've got one, but it's more. I'd go Tetsuya Nomura.
Oh, that's a great choice. And yes.
Or Nobuo Uematsu or whatever way it's pronounced.
Yeah, Nobuo Uematsu. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Great choices, Final Fantasy fans.
He won't want to sit beside me, but I'm going to say Miyazaki.
We know he hates you, Ronan.
He has a restraining order in place already.
And I don't care what he says, but he is based, like there is elements of Zelda in Dark Souls. I don't care what anyone says, even if the developer doesn't want it to admit it.
I can imagine that conversation.
Every adventure game, every third-person action RPG game is based on some part of Zelda, so he can... He's wrong. That's what we'd actually discuss if I got to sit down with him.
You're wrong. Your game is brilliant, but you're wrong.
Or would you put duct tape on the door to prevent him from leaving or something? Be like, no, you gotta listen.
For me, it'd be absolutely Todd Howard from Bethesda.
We're talking about. Remember his name earlier on.
I know, because I'd love to grab him by the cuffs of his shoulders and say, "What do you think it would Fallout 76? We don't want multiplayer. Fallout's a single player experience. That was what we want."
Well, there you go. That actually ties in with the next question from Dave. He said, "What do you think of the crack with the Fallout 76 beta?"
I know nothing about it, to be honest.
I didn't hear anything.
I've heard, basically, lads, the beta is online only, but it carries on all of your progress into the main game.
Oh, that's fucked.
Oh, I'm okay with that. Like a lot of people, I'm assuming this is one of those things you have to pre-order the game to get into the beta, so you don't want to lose your progress if you've already paid to get into it. So
I always hate that.
A lot of games do that. I think that's fine.
It is fine.
It'd be horrible if you were to put a load of effort in the beta, and then just lose it all on day one again and start from scratch.
Definitely. I agree with that, Fano. It's a couple of games that I think Destiny did it. You got to level 10 or whatever, and then the game is released and then it's back to 0. And I think that, I don't know, it's a little bit silly if you ask me. So them doing that is okay, but I'm not going to be getting any level in that game, so
No.
I won't have to worry about it.
We still have more on the list, guys. This is quote unquote. The answer is Jack, but for the lad collecting platinums, what games platinums were simply not worth it?
Just
we go.
one, and that was I Am Mayo.
And why wasn't that worth it, Jack?
Because, as I called it earlier, it's a fluff platinum.
This is the only button you need.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a fluff platinum.
Just keep pressing that, and the platinum will come to you.
Jack, you paid money for it though. You actually
I paid €1.
You still paid for it.
I know. That's why I said earlier though that if I could get rid of it off my list, I would.
No,
ironically, you paid less for that game than you would a jar of mayo.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, there you go.
To go on with that question though, I will say one thing though. We brought up Dante's Inferno earlier. That was a good platinum to get. That was my first one.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, fair play.
Nice.
Heard it here first, boys.
Another question. How happy are the group that not only does FIFA have the Champions League back, but there's also five-a-side FIFA Street mode included?
I'm gonna give you some news that I got off my friend that actually works in EA. There is no five-a-side in FIFA.
Oh.
That was actually a picture taken from FIFA Street, believe it or not.
Oh,
but
that's a huge
I can confirm that there's lounge mode, or survival mode, whatever you want to call it. It's like house rules mode, and obviously Champions League's in it. But you heard it here first. There is 0 five-a-side in the new FIFA game, sadly.
It's going to be a battle royale mode as well.
Fired.
No, he actually told me I could mention that.
Okay.
Oh, fair enough.
The thing about FIFA Street is amazing. Why wouldn't they add it?
It's so much better than FIFA.
Yes, I agree.
No, I'm putting it out there. I mean, you get such legends of the game. Like Rivaldo's always in it, and he's always top class. I just love Rivaldo.
No, I agree with you.
I have no FIFA. You could say anything, and I'd believe it about FIFA, to be honest. So
What's next, Anna?
That in space. Finally, we have the comments. Just speaking about Fallout Shelter. Actually, Bethesda is suing Warner Brothers for its ripoff of Fallout Shelter at the moment. They're a lawsuit obtained by Polygon. They're suing Westworld's mobile developer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
That was just a straight ripoff. That was.
Seeking statutory damages, actual damages, profits and restitution, as well as attorney's fees and costs. So, the second fact is Jack, couldn't remember the name of the guy, the Witcher at Kaer Morhen. That's Vesemir you were thinking of?
That's
it.
Yeah.
And then there was the other one that was Lambert.
Finally, finally, the pronunciation of the guy from Game of Thrones, Jaime Lannister, is Nikolai Coster-Waldau.
Nikolai. So it's easier than what I don't know. I thought it was way more difficult than what I thought.
No, and that's it. That's all.
Nice. So we're going to do just shout outs, and we're going to get out of here because we are running a little bit late. So we'll go from Una Ming, ladies first.
Thank you very much. You can find me over on Twitch at Unitex, YUNITEX, and I'm doing RPGs at the moment and a bit of creative with dual cameras, so I'm having a good crack with that at the moment.
Nice. Jack, Platinum Jack.
Well, you can find me on Twitch at the Platinum Jack, and for Twitter, Instagram, and everything else, I've actually commented a couple of times in the comments. That's how you spell Waxtools. Just take off the 2.
Kev.
You can find me everywhere at MartoothTK.
Fano.
Everywhere for me, it's at Moroccside.
Sweet. And I just want to say something just before I jump off. The Allcast Irish Gamers are having their 4th charity stream. We will explain the cause and stuff next week, but it is on the 31st of August to the 2nd of September, which is a long time for games. But we will probably be jumping on that as well and helping the guys out as we go. We will have more details. Also, we have a fundraiser for something that's very close to our hearts. Fano's. It's a niece, Fano, yeah.
Yeah, it's my niece. if I'll talk about it a bit, I suppose. So I have this niece. Her name is Katie. She's 10 years old, and she is very, very much so a special needs child. She has one working lung. She has impaired vision and hearing. She actually died for a short while when she was born, and because of this, they can't really pinpoint her condition. She actually has her own condition. It's literally her, that's under her name. She also has scoliosis of the spine, and that's what this fundraiser is about. She has a 90-degree turn one way and then 110 the other way. Her spine is like an accordion nearly being pushed together. What we're raising funds for is equipment for her recovery afterwards, and we're running a GoFundMe page alongside the All Irish Gamers. They're going to help us out. We're going to do our own stuff under the Republic banner. They're going to do their stuff. Everyone's trying to help out, and I'm extremely grateful for it, and so is my family. So I'd just like to say thanks to everybody, and hopefully the GoFundMe link will be in the description down below.
Yeah, thanks a million, Fano, and I hope I didn't throw that on you, but we're all here to support you and Katie whatever way we can. So we're going to call it there. If you like this podcast, hit the thumbs up. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel, and we've got more gaming content coming to that channel. I've got some first looks, and we're getting new content creators in as well. This has been the Republic of Gaming, episode 10, and we are out.
See you, lads.